Well, I am so happy to be here talking with you. I didn't think I was going to be able to make this video. And as it is, it's like I'm squeezing it in between, all these Christmas things, these holiday exciting things that are going on, family stuff, etc. And if you read my newsletter, you know I'm not in like this major Christmassy mode. So I have the smallest tree ever. It's so little. And that's okay. And I'm enjoying not being excessive, and that's just kind of where I am right now in life in general. It's really interesting to kind of watch how things flow in and out of life as well, and so sort of where I am right now. But speaking of that and thinking about those things, we have some cool astrology going on right now for Christmas and the day after Christmas and rolling into the new year. And the new year is pretty interesting, man. It's 2024. But before that, let's talk about this 25th and 26th. On Christmas Day, we have a really beautiful aspect between Venus and Neptune. It's a trine aspect. And Venus and Neptune together brings some like just sweetness, real sweetness in that trine energy. It's all the best of both of them coming together to create this kind of dreamy love feeling of pleasure and joy and happiness. So I really like that for Christmas Day. And then the next day we get a full moon in Cancer. And that has some really beautiful aspects too. The sun is trine to Jupiter and the moon is sextile to Jupiter. So that's the main aspect they're making, as well as to Saturn. Saturn is making a sextile up to the sun and a trine to the moon. So those two biggies are kind of in on it, but all the energy is flowing really nicely. Now, the Cancer energy is a nostalgic one, and so I'll be talking a little bit more about that in a minute, but just a general overview. December 26th is the full moon in Cancer, and there is some emotional charge to a Cancer full moon. It's the last one of 2023, and it's asking us to direct some attention inward towards our emotion and even more to the intuition. Intuition is my favorite keyword for Cancer energy, and I have some other stuff about that I'll tell you in a second, but it's really encouraging us to slow down, really listen to ourselves and nurture ourselves and nurture other people. And that doesn't always work so well, and maybe we don't nurture them the way they want to be nurtured, or we aren't getting that nurturing back, or whatever it is. So we need to think about how we're feeling, how we're maybe feeling vulnerable around Christmas time, because that's something that happens. We just be honest about it. And Cancer is also about learning where to put some boundaries, and those boundaries are helpful for us to grow, to have those strengths. And that's where we got the Capricorn, where we have Capricorn coming in. That's that foundational strength. So it's time to reflect on that and release it and embrace some of those emotions, but also seeing where we can solidify ourselves. It's the end of the year as well coming up, and it's a good time to reflect on how the year has gone for you. But not only that, but looking ahead to 2024. So a way we can do that is like through journaling, through thinking about what we want to release or keep. And I've been learning a lot about physical pain lately and how much of it is stored in our emotions that are unprocessed. It's really kind of interesting, complex theory, but when we don't listen to the pain, is what they say, it's when the pain is not being listened to, saying, hey, what are you saying? What are you trying to tell me? It just gets more strong and more powerful. And that's the way astrology works too. So if there's a challenging transit or a challenging emotional feeling, and we don't go, hey, what are you trying to tell me? It can get bigger and bigger. And that power of destruction is actually balanced by giving it attention, by giving it understanding, saying like, what are you trying to teach me? What do you want me to know? And that's Cancer too. It's listening deeply to that intuition and working with it to pay attention to it, to say, hey, I know inside of myself, I can feel it. I have something that I need to attend to. What is it? What do you want me to know? And then listening to the answers. That's probably the more important part. Like, what's the answer? So if some emotions are coming to the surface, then acknowledge them, thank them, and be aware that that thanking and that acknowledgement like leads to some lightness, a lighter energy. Cancer and intuition are just in lockstep. It's really strong for Cancer energy. And when we don't listen, when we're pushing it away, that is really not good, because the intuition is our guide. It's our guiding life force. It's the love that's so deep inside of us. It's like an eternal mother, the unconditional loving mother. It's the intuition. And when we fully access and trust it, my gosh, the world opens up. The whole world opens up. Intuition is the voice of the source spirit, and it can be quiet and really easy to ignore it, because we have two pieces. The other part is instinct, and that's the animal voice. And the animal voice is really loud, and it's governed by fear. And intuition is guided by love. It's the ultimate love and care, and it's the whisper of the divine that's inside of us. And everything I'm learning that we feel is just on a spectrum of love and fear. Every single thing can be distilled into some form of love or fear. Cancer full moon can be shining a light on that. Cancer full moon is reflecting Capricorn light. Capricorn light is the foundation, the structure that allows for Cancer love to be expressed. You know, where you're safe. Cancer is safe when Capricorn is balanced with it. So some of the lower feelings that we can have, the vibrations that are lower, are like not listening to ourselves, and that's self-betrayal, or not caring as much about our feelings as our responsibilities. And you know, that's not always easy to do. Sometimes responsibilities take precedence, but if you're not feeling joy and love and pleasure and bliss and wonder regularly, then you might want to rethink a few things and bring a little bit of that into your life in some way or another. There's always a way. Some of the other astrological influences of this full moon: Mercury's retrograde right now. So we're processing, rethinking, and observing those emotions. Jupiter is retrograde until the end of the month, and that's like expanding or aligning with our self-worth. And then Saturn is in Pisces, and that's this boundary, commitment, ability to bring from Pisces of that magical, mystical, boundaryless place. So it's a good time for recharging, for reflection, self-reflection, and acknowledging our feelings. We get to this part of the video, and I know if you're here, then I can be very vulnerable with you and tell you things that I can't say at the beginning of the video. So what I'm thinking a lot about right now is family, nostalgia. Cancer and nostalgia are kind of hand in hand, and it's a double-edged sword with that as well, because the Cancer feeling can be so strong and so deep, and it can be uncomfortable to even think about the past, to even go there. The love of family, the love especially of a caretaker, a nurturing caretaker. And so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my grandma. So my grandma loved Christmas like so much. She just loved Christmas. Like Christmas was my grandma. And she always had a beautiful Christmas tree, all the decorations. And it was so much fun. It was a blast. My grandma was a lot of fun. She was a Cancer sun. She was a Cancer sun too, and we just got along really, really well. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Cancer energy can also be the fear. So if we're going to that end of it, it can be the greatest love, the greatest love there is. And it can also be fear. Fear of not being in control of a situation so that you get hurt. So I think she had some issues. We lost her in 2021, and she made it to 99 years old. And by that time, she'd alienated a lot of people. I was even at that point where I was a little alienated by her, and she and I were really like best friends. But I was there at her ending, and sitting there with her, and we had a moment alone, like that nobody else was in the room, and she was definitely on her way out. So I'm sitting on her bed, next to her at her bed. And she had some like lucidity in that moment. And she just looked at me and she said, I really love you. I really love you. And that is so tender and so sweet. And that was like the last thing she said to me. I really love you. And it just transcends everything. So at this Christmas time, and with the Cancer full moon, you may be feeling these things, memories and thoughts, and those are gifts, beautiful gifts. Anyway, I've got to go to a Christmas party and get myself together. I wish you the very most beautiful Christmas, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, I wish you a beautiful day. A beautiful day with a Venus-Neptune trine and a really nice Cancer full moon coming after. Okay, I'll talk to you soon about the new year, and I like you just the way you are.